In this video, I'm going to give you 3 things that if you did and followed, you'll be able to see the vision of your future clearly, knowing the right times to pounce on an opportunity, pouring in your heart and your soul, and other times when it's time to take your chips off the table, to take a step back and ride out maybe some of the chaos and turbulence coming in your life. Believe it or not, your mind actually has the power to help you do this, and it's something we've forgotten and it's been buried deep within us. This is something I've been doing, this process of what I call realization, to really intuitively see the future opportunities or current opportunities and doubling down where it counts. I'm going to explain this to you in 3 steps. The first being psychological time, the law of rhythm, and finally, this exercise we call the process of realization. And as with all things, we're going to tap into the universal power of the universe, this universal life force energy, this energy that's all around us, that permeates all things, that many of us have been cut off from because we live in a day and age where we have fear peddled to us constantly. And so we'll get to the exercise at the end, but first I want to talk about the law of rhythm. There's a universal law, and believe it or not, your life is governed by universal laws, not human laws. It's called the law of rhythm. It's an ancient law that was written about by this guy like 4 or 5,000 years ago. You'll find it mentioned in many ancient texts, religions, and whatnot. And the law of rhythm basically goes like this: all things have a high and a low. And in order to flow with the rhythm of life, you must know when the highs are in your way. The way I say it is amplify the highs and neutralize the lows. Now, this rhythm is unstoppable and is inevitable that in your life you're going to have highs and lows. You've probably experienced it in your work life, in your mental health, in the way we even go to the gym. I'm not going to lie to you, I've been out of the gym for a little while and getting back into it now, it does feel like there's a certain amount of resistance coming back into it. But this is just the law of rhythm at work. There's also opportunities or times in your life where money may be flowing to you effortlessly, and other times when it's almost impossible to make any sort of money, especially if you're in the line of a business or entrepreneur. That it can almost be like no matter what amount of efforts you put into things just don't work out for you. And I can speak to this even as a trader. I am an options trader. I've been doing that for about 7 years. And there's definitely times when every trade you put in is almost always making money. And there's times when almost no matter what you do, no matter how much you analyze charts or do research or whatever, nothing ever seems to work out. And I've learned over the years those are the times to kind of hold back a little bit. Your intuition starts screaming at you to pull back and reserve some of your resources. Now, the second aspect here is psychological time. When we're not in the present moment, we get pulled away from the things that matter most. Our intuition, our intuitive insight, this part of you that's able to see and perceive beyond your current reality. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this in The Power of Now, which is an incredible book. I highly recommend you read it if you've never read it. But I read it on a flight to Sedona and back. And he talks about this thing called psychological time. We have clock time, which is, I have something to do later in the day. I'm going on a podcast later this week. I have some things I'm going to do with my girlfriend and my dog. Like, that is clock time. I'm planning my life. Psychological time is when our mind gets pulled into the future and I'm thinking about the weekend or what could go wrong or what could go right. I'm thinking about my past and how things in the past maybe didn't work out, or trades that didn't work out, or whatever may you have. But think about it in this current moment. In the last day, or since you woke up today, how much have you thought about the future, whether it's later in the day, a couple days from now, weeks from now? And how much have you been thinking about your past and relating it to where you are now? Quite a bit, right? Because we all do this. In this day and age, when we're surrounded by attention grabbing devices, our attention is our most valuable resource and it gets pulled away from us because this is one of the ways that can keep you under their control. This is the way this control system is able to keep you exactly where you're at by pulling away as much of your attention through psychological time, pulling you forward into the future and pulling you far back into your past. Now, the key here is living in the present moment. This might be obvious to you, but there's a way in doing this. And Eckhart Tolle says one phrase that has literally shifted everything for me. It has changed my life as I've been using it just over the last couple weeks. And he'll say this: when your thoughts are going busy, because thoughts are not yours, and you just have all these thoughts coming at you, first of all, realize they're not yours. Second of all, take the place of an observer. What that means is you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions. To disassociate from that. And a way he kind of says it in this one phrase is, what's my next thought going to be? When your mind is racing, when your thoughts are racing or whatever, what's my next thought going to be? And silence. Nothing. Nothing will come, because now you've stepped into a higher state of awareness, a higher state of consciousness that you're now actually watching. Almost like, my dog will be like out on the beach and stuff. He'll be looking at crabs and stuff. He'll be like watching them move. I don't know if he's like in a hunting mode or whatever, but to be almost like observant, to watch your thoughts almost like they're like fish going down a stream and you're just watching them. And that'll put you in a state of extreme presence. This is something I'm currently working on myself, because I find myself getting too dragged into my mind, and then I lose this perfect, precious present moment. Now you might say, how do all these things have to do with me being able to even see opportunities? Well, this brings me to the process of realization. And this is an exercise that you can do every night in conjunction with universal life force energy. Because you have to realize this universal life force energy is a positive, constructive force. And it's a very strong force. It can combat all negativity in your life. And it can even raise your sense of acuity, or your sense of mental awareness through your intuition. And so I've talked about how you can prime yourself to do this. There's a priming exercise, and I take like a few minutes to explain it every video, but I've actually made a starter guide you can get down for free in the link down below. They'll give you this process. It's a meditation for making contact with this force that's all around you. That's something that you may have never even felt before, unless you watched one of my videos before and did the exercise. But in making contact with this universal life force energy, you will actually go through the process of realization. Now, the process of realization is a few steps. First, you make contact with this universal life force. Then, after you've closed your eyes and you're in that mist of dead silence, you feel that universal energy flowing through you. You're going to queue up wherever in your life you would like to get a new, fresh batch of ideas, whether it's for your household, in your business, something you want to do at work to get that big promotion. Cue your mind up, and don't say it with your voice, say it with your mind. Cue it up. What do you want ideas for? And sit there silently observing, watching your thoughts like you're watching those salmon flowing down a river, using that power of now. And in doing that, ideas will just begin coming up for you. Try this exercise, and ideas will just begin flowing to you. Now, it's important when you do this to have a pen and paper close by, because just as quickly as those ideas come to you, they'll flow away from you and you'll forget. So then you have these ideas coming to you, ideas coming to you, ideas coming to you, and you're writing them down. Or maybe I like to have that flow come to me and then write them all down. And now you've begun the process of realization. Now look through each one of those ideas and use your reason and will. This is when you're using your left brain, your logical mind, something we use all the time, every day. But what you are doing with the universal life force energy is you're tapping into your right brain, that infinite expansive awareness. We're using both sides of our mind, putting them together, and we're creating something amazing. So you have all these intuitive ideas, but some of them aren't going to be good. Some of them aren't going to be aligned with what you're doing. Some of them may even be something you're doing from a future version of you. So you have to sift through and see what's most relevant to your current situation. And, this is partly intuition, but partly using your reason. What is the most reasonable, logical thing out of all the things you wrote down that just stands out at you? And the last part here is something people always forget and keeps them stuck. You must take radical action, because there's going to be nothing happening for you if you're not taking action towards it. And so whatever you decide to do, put a date down, whether it's today, tomorrow, whatever, and do that thing. And slowly over time, you'll build a stronger sense of intuition. As you do this exercise, you'll build a stronger connection with that universal life force. There's a video here that you can watch that will take you into that exercise. I break it down. It's one of my most famous videos. Subscribe to the channel if you're part of that 75% or whatever. I watch my analytics now that hasn't done it. And join me for this journey, because we're going to be going live. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff that's coming down the pipeline. And once again, thank you for sharing this time with me. Until next time, peace.